If you get to fish as much as we do, every once in a while, you run across a fantastic little fishing hotspot. That's exactly what's going to happen in the next half hour. Warning, every fish you're about to see is big. We're going to Alabama. Glad you're along with us. You don't want to miss the next half hour because Fox Sports Outdoors is on the air right now.
You're watching the only program with weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southeast region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
This is Fort Morgan, Alabama. It's an old Civil War fort, strategically situated at the mouth of Mobile Bay. Many of the most important battles in the Civil War were fought right here in this area as the Confederates tried to defend Mobile Bay against the Union armies. Of course, the Union eventually overtook them, but it is some real history in this area, but it's not the history that we're here for. We're only about 20 minutes out of Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, Alabama. It's home to some of the very best fishing the Gulf of Mexico has to offer. We're taking you to a place today in the Mako 21 LTS with the Mercury 4-stroke 150 hanging off the back. This place is called Dixie Bar. It is one of the greatest hot spots up and down this entire coastline. And while we're out doing that, we're taking you around the region for your latest fishing reports from our expert team of insider reporters. Right now, let's get it all started back at the FSN studios with your weekend planner.
The Salooner tables are indicating that this weekend will present an outstanding opportunity for fishing. Peak nighttime hours should start a bit after midnight, while the best daytime activity looks to begin at 12:33 on Saturday and 1:20 on Sunday. The sun will rise at 7 o'clock a.m. and set at 5:24 p.m. And evening skies will be dark with a new moon on Saturday. We're coming right back with fishing information from around the area. And I'll return with catfishing expert Chad Ferguson to answer this week's Ask the Pro question. Stay with us.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Motor Guide Trolling Motors. Motor Guide, because accuracy matters. Lowrance Electronics, celebrating 60 years of fish finding excellence. Find, navigate, dominate. And Excite Technologies, powering the world forward.
Just pulled right up on it and immediately that fish hit. I haven't been on this thing for 5 minutes. I got a bite. Carolina rig, it's got a croaker, rod's going down, 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 got it. All right, I got a fish on Dixie Bar. Welcome back, everybody. We have made it out, as you can see. It's a beautiful day. The wind is down, which means we can go outside the bay from Fort Morgan. I've got a Carolina rig with a croaker on it, and we're just drifting down the edge of this sandbar. And the tide is perfect right now, and I'll explain why in just a second. Big old red. Just pulled right up on it and immediately that fish hit. I haven't been on this thing for 5 minutes. I've caught hundreds and hundreds of redfish in my life, but I don't think I've caught one that's given me this much of a fight. I've got this brand new Lew's Super Duty wide reel on, and it's doing a great job right now. And I got this brand new Lew's Super Duty 2 rod on. And it's made for fighting brutes like this end. I got him. I got this bad boy. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Oh man. I've caught a giant redfish. Oh, look at that. Man. There is what you come to Gulf Shores and Orange Beach for, ladies and gentlemen. A giant bull redfish right here on the perfect tide on Dixie Bar. Womp, 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 womp. How about that? All right. Tail walking back and forth just a little bit. He gave me an incredible fight. There he goes. Well, I want to explain something to you about this tide, but that took so long, we got to get you to some fishing and lake reports from our insider reporters near you, your local lakes, rivers, and bays.
Hey guys, welcome to this week's Tennessee and Kentucky Fishing Report. This week's report is brought to you by Orion Coolers. You know, my favorite thing about my Orion cooler is its expandability. They make tons of accessories to make the best cooler on earth even better. Check them out at orioncoolers.com. You know, I'm on the Duck River here today and kind of one of the dividing lines kind of in middle and west Tennessee. This is like the craziest two-state region on earth to give a fishing report from, because it's like feels like fall, feels like winter, it's cooling off, and then it's 60 degrees today. It's been raining, feels like summer. It's gonna be like in the high 60s this week. But here's the thing, the fish are kind of biting. Right here on the Duck River, for instance, guys are catching bass, they're catching crappie, they're catching catfish. On Kentucky Lake, the crappie bite's really good. The bass bite's getting better all the time as the water gets cooler. Middle Tennessee, Percy Priest is really good. I talked to a guy the other day, caught a pile of fish on Percy Priest bass. Lake Cumberland up in Kentucky is hot right now. That's a lake I talk about a lot, but it's really good all the time. The bass, the striper, and the crappie bite there is really happening. But here's the thing, right now, it's fall fishing. The crappie are really shallow, the bass are really shallow, and I think the catfish are on those shallow river bars as well. The topwater bite's really good. The lipless crankbait bite, like a red-eye shad, is really good right now too, as well as a spinnerbait and things of that nature. It's fast-moving, shad-imitating baits. Fall fishing is gonna be really good throughout the month of October, or November, sorry, and into December, and then we're gonna start looking at more wintertime tactics. But right now, if I were you and I like to fish, I'd get here. It's pretty good. We'd love to see you here in Tennessee and Kentucky. God bless.
I got her. All right. Hey everybody, welcome back. We're at Orange Beach, Gulf Shores, Alabama. Here's a bite. Something's got my croaker. Got him. Fish on, hard pull. Holy cow. He's got about 100 yards of line out right now. Could be a jack. This is why you use a loose Super Duty speed spool reel, for this very reason right here. When you hook into something big like this, you got to have a rod and a reel that will handle it. What a powerful, muscular, never give up kind of fish a jack crevalle is. What I'm doing is I'm keeping my drag fairly loose so that if he decides to make a big run right here, he can do that. But then I'm putting extra pressure on it with my thumb. No matter how tough your tackle is, you put enough pressure on it and something's gonna give. You'll notice too, I'm keeping that rod up at 90 degrees to the fish and letting him fight against the rod. I'm not pointing the rod at him. So I'm just using that thumb pressure to dictate how much pressure that I can put on this fish. I got her. All right. Oh, baby. That is a giant jack crevalle right there. That's the biggest one I've ever caught. There you go. There is a giant jack crevalle right there. Biggest one I've ever caught. 45 minutes. And that's just what it takes. When you hook one of these, you have a choice to make. Do you want to donate 45 minutes? Or do you want to basically cut it off or break it off on purpose? Because you're not going to land one of them in quicker than 45 minutes. That's just all there is to it. What a fight. My gear held up. All that loose Super Duty equipment is just unbelievable. So we're going to put this fish back. Away she goes. Cool. You just never know what you're going to catch when you come here to Gulf Shores. I'm going to rest, redo my gear, and we get you some fishing and lake reports from where you live.
This portion of the show is brought to you by the state of Mississippi, where fishing fun is year-round and where the Mississippi Gulf Coast offers some of the best inshore angling and offshore adventures anywhere in the world. So start your fishing adventure in the true South, Mississippi.
I was talking to Captain Jack McGowan over in Savannah, Georgia, and he says that the fishing around the Savannah area for trout, redfish, and sheepshead has been excellent. He says particularly for trout, these are really nice sized trout, good time of year for them. Jack's catching a lot of these trout around the oyster bars and the sounds and the creek mouths. He likes incoming Clearwater tides, and he recommends the Bull River, Wausau Sound, and the Cabbage Island areas. Over in Mississippi, the red fishing is still on fire. It's absolutely outstanding red fishing from Pascagoula all the way west to Bay St. Louis. The fish are taking jigs and plugs and live baits, spoons, spinner baits, just about anything you want to throw at them. There's also lots of school trout in the bays underneath birds, and look for slicks on the surface. And the tuna fishing continues very good well off Mississippi, around the oil rigs way offshore, and also the anchored shrimp boats. In Alabama near Daphne, my friend Captain Patrick Garmison says trout fishing also has been good, and he's catching redfish too. Look for birds and work on those grass areas, and also oyster bars for reds. Well, that's it for the Coastal South. Get out on the water and take a youngster with you when you go.
This week's Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi Freshwater Fishing Report is sponsored by Twin Waters Inn on Captive Island, Florida. This historic Gulf Coast destination offers motel and cottage accommodations, full resort amenities, 2 restaurants, and beach access. The Twin Waters Marina also is your doorway to great fishing on the Gulf of Mexico and Pine Island Sound. Now the weather's really beginning to cool down across the south, and fishing continues to be good for bass, crappie, and stripers. It's a good time to get out on the water. This is especially true in the northern third of Georgia, where the delayed harvest season for trout is now open. Georgia has 5 streams with these regulations, and now is the best time of the year to sample them. Only single hook artificial lures are legal, and all trout must be released, but these heavily stocked streams often give up 25 to 40 fish per day. The Chattahoochee River at Atlanta, the Chattooga River on the South Carolina border, Amicalola Creek at Dawsonville, the Toccoa River near Dial, and Smith Creek and Unicoi State Park all offer this kind of fishing. This DH season runs through May 15th next spring. Now the fall weather this week has the striped bass actively chasing shad on northwest Alabama's Lewis Smith Lake on the Sipsey River. Also, the big largemouth bass are feeding as well on the deep points and grass beds this week on Mississippi's Trace State Park Lake.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Tracker Boats. It's more than a boat, it's a tracker. Mercury Marine, go boldly. And Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there.
I can't do much with him, so I'm just going to try to get him in the net one of these times when he swims past. One's got it. Hey everybody, welcome back. We're still at Gulf Shores. I've got one running with my croaker, and I've got a circle hook on here, and I'm just going to let him set the hook. Got him, fish on. All right, I got one. The tide has gotten right. The tide is now outgoing. We're in the middle of the afternoon. The tide's outgoing, and it's funneling right across this bar. And it's pulled every fish, every species. Look at this. Every fish is up here feeding. That's a black drum. We're gonna have the grand slam. Look at that dude. Wow. Giant. Man, what kind of a day are we having? There's your giant black drum. Well, this is really something. I mean, you talk about coming out here and doing battle with some giant fish. You come here and book Captain Patrick Garmison for a guide trip, and he'll come put you on Dixie Bar and some of these fish. It is amazing. I'm just gonna flop him right back in. See you, buddy. Well, the key here is current. We fished here all morning and never got a bite. And then about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, everything changed. The tide switched, turned into an outgoing tide. Now it's really rushing along as this water trickles over the top of the bar. It's coming out of Mobile Bay, across the top of that bar and then funnels on the other side, and those fish are just sitting on the other side of that sandbar waiting on all the food to get washed over that sandbar. It's only about 4 feet on top, and I'm fishing in about 12 feet of water right now. Time for fishing and lake reports from where you live.
Hey folks, it's time for your Carolinas report, brought to you by the Dead Dog Saloon. And I'll tell you what, with the holidays coming up, make sure you put the Dead Dog Saloon on your list of areas to visit if you're in the Grand Strand area. We're open 7 days a week for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and we can do any private party for the holidays that you'd like to set up. Here it's always about the food, the view, and the music. Let's talk about the saltwater side of things this week, and I tell you what, so many things going on. The Little River Inshore Slam was contested a couple weeks ago, had a lot of great fish caught up there. The trout bite, the flounder bite, the redfish bite continues to be strong. Again, from Beaufort all the way up to Pamplico Sound. If you can get out right now, get out with some good live baits or your favorite artificial, target those shell banks and those areas where those trout are holding out. You're going to have a very successful trip this time of the year. Also, the big bull reds, those big breeder fish are still along the coast. They're following those late menhaden that are making that move, and you can get out with some heavy tackle and have a great time with those as well, along with the king mackerel, which still tend to be really close to shore right now on those schools of bait and on those near shore live bottoms. This has been your Carolinas report, and it's brought to you by the Dead Dog Saloon. Remember, fish smarter, not harder, and keep your chaos organized.
Hey, we're still out here on Dixie Bar. I cranked up and I've made another run back up current, and I'm just letting the current, the tide, drift me down the bar, and I'm getting bit there's one. Every time I do, got him, got a fish on. All right, this is just automatic, I swear. I have literally pulled up here, and every time I've killed the engine and drifted these croakers down through here, I don't get to go 5 minutes before one gets it. This is a redfish, big old redfish right here. I've actually got my other reel on here. This is my Lew's Speedcast SC600, which is really made for big line capacity and big fish, so that in case they streak out and pull a bunch of drag, you've got lots of backup. There he goes. But you don't want to horse him. Something will give if you horse him. You just let him play himself out against that big heavy rod. I can't do much with him, so I'm just going to try to get him in the net one of these times when he swims past. Ugh! He's tired. Got him. Wow. Man, oh man. How about that for a Gulf Shores redfish? Oh man, we have had one afternoon of it. I'm telling you what, this has just been absolutely amazing. There's what you come to Gulf Shores for right there, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna put him back. If we don't put me back first. Well, I want to just go ahead and put some information up on the screen as we're headed to break here. Here's Patrick Garmison's contact information if you'd like to book him for a guide trip. He can bring you out here. He's got a great boat to do it in. Fishes here every day, knows it like the back of his hand. Then we stayed at Turquoise Place by Spectrum Resorts, right on the beach in Orange Beach. It is the premier, top-of-the-line luxury condominium facility with condos starting at 2,700 square feet and 3 bedrooms and up. So get 2 or 3 families, get 1 condo unit. There's no place here like Turquoise Place by Spectrum Resort. It is top of the line, and catching these fish right here is something that you've just got to come experience.
Be sure to join Fox Sports Outdoors again next week, Thursday night at 6, or catch the repeat airing Sunday morning at 8:30. And you can always watch the latest episode in full HD on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Plus, catch up on all past episodes by clicking the archive button. And see lots of our how-to and product videos by selecting the how-to button. Join our online fishing community. Just click the like button on our Facebook page for access to daily posts with lots of fishing news, videos, and frequent giveaways. And stay up to date with all the latest fishing information and photos by following our Twitter feed. Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Lew's. Fueled by passion, driven by innovation. Feel the difference. Jean LaRue Bass Baits and Bobby Garland Crappie Baits, the leaders in soft plastic lures innovation. And Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pro question. your opportunity for advice from professional anglers. This week, Corbin writes, what do you do when you're getting catfish bites but not catching fish? For an answer, we checked with professional catfisherman Chad Ferguson.
If you're getting bites but not connecting with fish and you're confident that it's catfish, there's a couple of things that you can do. One is to make those pieces of bait a little bit smaller. That's one option. Sometimes the baits are just a little bit too long and the fish will grab them and let go, but they won't actually grab the hook. Now another option, if you want to stick with those larger baits, which is often a really good option, is to go with a rig like this, which is a double hook rig. This is a Whisker Seeker Black Mamba is what this is called, but there's a variety of different options. You can also rig different rigs like this up yourself. But this has two hooks on it, a larger hook and a smaller hook about 6 inches apart. This is going to allow you to put one hook in the top of the bait, one hook in the bottom of the bait, and it'll help with those short strikes where you're not connecting with fish.
Thank you, Chad. If you have something to ask one of our pros, just visit our website, follow the Ask the Pro link, and let us know. Now let's see which big fish picture wins someone a new pair of sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week.
Well, as you can see, we have made it aboard the Dauphin Island Ferry. We're making the trip in the Mako across Mobile Bay from Fort Morgan all the way across to Dauphin Island and headed on to our next adventure. It's time right now for this week's winner in the Costa Catch of the Week contest. He is Matt Const of Morganton, North Carolina, showing a 23-inch largemouth bass he caught at Lake Hickory in North Carolina. If you'd like a chance to be our next winner, just go to our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com, click on the Costa Catch of the Week box on the right side of the home page, follow the instructions, and you could be our next winner. And if you want to see all of the Costa frame and lens styles, go back to our homepage, click on the Costa logo. There you'll see all of the 580 polycarbonate and glass lenses in all the various colors, and all of the frames, including the frame that I was wearing on this week's episode. I love this one. It's called SouthEAST. Next up on the gear segment, I want to talk about this brand new equipment that Lew's has come out with, specifically to fight these big fish like the big reds, black drum, jack crevalle you saw us catching. Begins with the Lew's Custom Speed Stick Super Duty 2 rod. It's a brand new 7-foot, 11-inch rod with a ton of backbone made for this style of fishing. And the Lew's Super Duty Wide Reel, again, is specifically made for these big fish that make these big long runs. It's got big line capacity, big gears, everything set up to fight big saltwater fish like you saw us catching today. And we caught them on a Carolina rig, basically an egg sinker, a barrel swivel, 3 feet of leader, and a circle hook, which is a great hook to catch those fish right in the corner of the lip. Did you ever stop and think about the fact that we are all hardwired differently when it comes to our work, our job skills? We all have different God-given abilities to do different things. That way all the work gets done. It would be really bad if we all liked and were good at the same things. But did you realize that we are all happiest when we're using our job skills for something greater than ourselves? It keeps our work from becoming boring, and it keeps our job from becoming drudgery. Are you using your job for something greater than yourself? If not, what are you going to do about it? In closing, I'd like to give a little shout out to my good friends at Saunders Yacht Works in Gulf Shores and Orange Beach. They stored our boat the entire week that we were here, did a great job of taking care of it. These folks have been in the boating business since 1969. They have a great dry storage yard. They can take care of maintenance, repowering, anything to do with your boat of almost any size. They have a location in Orange Beach, one in Gulf Shores. You can contact them at the information you see on your screen. From Orange Beach and Gulf Shores, Alabama, until next week, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.